the show, the first season of the show was all out of Felicia and Kim's pocket, and I was donating cameras, and everybody was donating their time, and we're all, eating the breadcrumbs. And then we had a PayPal button, and it wasn't, we wouldn't make episodes until that PayPal button was clicked enough, such that we had enough cash to shoot 3 or 4 episodes in a weekend. So I think that's how it started, and because of that, Felicia owns the show, and she's able to maintain ownership, and no one can tell her what to do. And it's probably the core reason why you guys all still love the show is because of that. And so I think as long as it retains the independent spirit, that connection with you guys, we'll keep growing and keep going. I mean, that's what I want to do.
Good luck, you guys, and great work.
Thank you very much.
Love to see your character do in the future?
Man, I wish I could spoil season 5, because this season was so fun. It really was. I cannot wait for you guys to see it. It's this is probably the most fun I had shooting, so that's all in my head right now. I just want to, because I just had the most fun personally. My character goes through some crazy stuff. But I think, I don't know, a lot of stuff that you and I do together is always, for me, it's, I guess just because we're comfortable improvising with each other, but, get us in a room and take my shirt off and oil me up.
The least fun is when we're in front of the screen doing stuff.
Yeah.
I love being around other people doing stuff.
I really love it when it's 2 people. So, when it's 6 of us, I mean, it's always fun to have everybody, but it's always a challenge to get everybody's coverage, and it's hard to really be in the moment and improvise and kind of play off each other and feel that connection. But whenever it's 2 of us going back and forth, that's when I really get into character and end up having the most fun. And then, of course, like I said, just take my shirt off.
And even though it was freezing cold water, I did love being in the shower in a full suit and getting wet.
That was hilarious. In slow motion.
Yes.
And then what would we like our characters to do?
What was that?
What would we like our characters to do?
Well, obviously, make love to beautiful women. But besides that,
I love doing the stunt work. Some of the stunt work in season 2 with Fernie Chen, the stunt guy. And so more of that, man. I mean, it's just so fun to be physical. Excuse me, and burn. So I have a gymnastics background, so any chance I can, to flip around and do stuff, I want to do more. So hopefully, Sabu will become an acrobat.
you probably used to work in an opium den. Probably couldn't afford it, though.
Thanks.
How intimidating was it for you, Sandeep, to be dominated by Michelle Boyd?
She is an intimidating presence, I'm going to be perfectly honest. She's very tall. She's, I think, literally twice the size of me.
She's taller than you.
Yep, that's for sure.
Yeah,
we've established that. I made out with her anyway. That was hilarious. I mean, I just knew it was going to be fun comedy, so I don't think I was actually intimidated. Though when she was swinging that mouse at me, there were a couple near misses that were, a little scary. But it was. I mean, Michelle is really fun. When we auditioned that role, I was actually in the room auditioning with each of the actresses, because we knew, even though in season 2 is when she was introduced. She's a very small role in season 2 as the stunt guy's roommate. We knew that she was going to end up being my girlfriend in season 3, so Felicia had the foresight to bring me in for the audition, so that I was actually working with all the actors, seeing if there was actual chemistry there. And so we did a lot of improv in the room, and Michelle just absolutely killed it. I mean, she did, just the height difference ended up being, and her just completely domineering me in the audition room and yanking me around, and it was just so fun and funny. I knew it was going to be a blast too.
And she plays well too.
She's a hardcore wow. Yeah.
And she's totally into bald guys.
So I
I ran into Sandeep in the elevator the other night, and all I could imagine to say was like, dude, you're awesome and funny. I just want to know, have you ever like met somebody that you watched on a movie or TV and just been completely lost for words?
Yeah. Well, it happens at almost every single one of these conventions at least once. This time it was probably, I walked into an elevator, much like yourself, and there's Adam Baldwin, and I love chasing Firefly, and that show needs to be resurrected, so... Super cool. I was like, oh hey, luckily his handler recognized me, and so it was like, oh Sandeep, he's a guest here too, and I'm like, oh yeah, my name's Sandeep, and you are. He's such a nice. He like didn't assume like I would know him at all, and he's like Adam. I'm like, okay, I gotta geek out for a moment. Yeah, I'm a big fan. But he was so nice about it, and yeah, we just ended up passionately making out. Same thing happened.
Much the same way Aaron does.
I thought you were gonna keep that secret.
My question's about a particular episode of the Guild in which the Guild had to fight Zab's mom.
Yeah, 2 seasons of that, but yeah.
Well, my question is, was it easy getting through that? I mean, I personally found it to be one of the funniest episodes in the entire series, and I feel like it had some pretty interesting bloopers there. Also, is there a correlation between your relationship with your mother and anybody else? Like, does anybody else in the Guild actually have a relationship in real life that's similar to that inspired that?
The first part was... Is that when we were fighting her in the restaurant?
He said correlation. Yeah, so we're talking about season 1, first of all, right? Season 1, where we're fighting my mom at the end of the season. That was Abanashi, who's played by VG Nathan. She's awesome, really sweet lady, super sweet lady. She was in Outsourced recently, and a bunch of other. She gets a lot of fun little appearances. Great actress. Nothing like my mother, my actual mother, in her character. Shit, man, you asked so many questions. Yeah, it was really fun. I mean, that whole.
We need to have a panel just for his questions. I can't remember what happened that day. It was just, it was fun.
It was like the first time all 6 of us were like, I mean, it was cool, because like all 6 of us were sort of beating the big boss. And we were all working together, and it was like, I think the first time, because the first season, we kind of all hate each other, but we're all so nervous about meeting each other, except for Zabla, of course, but, there's like, you're just not sure where the chemistry is going to come together, and I remember shooting those episodes being like, oh, I can see how this show is going to work season after season, because these guys all working as a team, they all have varying viewpoints, but they'll work together and defeat, their individual bosses, and that was kind of like, oh yeah, that's when it occurred to me that this could run several seasons. I remember that.
I was just really nervous because, not nervous, but I just didn't know anybody that well at the time, and so I was just socially awkward because I wasn't comfortable yet with anybody in the cast, and I just remember we didn't talk as much as we do now.
Now we're all real pals.
We live together, yeah.
Yeah, in your pocket. Is anybody? Is anybody like that? The relationship wise with their mothers?
Like overbearing and it's crazy.
Felicia wrote it.
All right, we only have time for 2 more questions.
2 more questions. You trailed off a little, but the most awkward moment when we were
filming. Is that what you asked? And then, do I like your pig?
To the second question, yes.
Yeah, I want it. Give it to me. Now what are you gonna do?
This is really weird. She's still standing there, not giving it to him.
Give me your freaking.
She's still not giving it to him. She's still not giving it to him. She's standing there, look at her. What was the most awkward moment of shooting? God, I'm trying to think.
Maybe that first time it was all 6 of us because of what you just said. Like we didn't know how good Amy and Robin and Vince were gonna be.
Yeah, we were just sort of standing around in the line, and
like, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Who the hell are you?
Yeah.
Why should I think you're funny?
I think you actually said that to me.
Yeah.
I can't.
I think you were gonna be.
But I can't think of any.
God. Yeah. I don't want to answer it.
I'm gonna take a nap.
I mean, we have so much fun. There's not a ton.
It's never awkward.
It's usually just when Felicia is being a raving lunatic. But she does wear like 5 billion hats on the show, so she is like, you know, producing, writing, you know, half directing, and
doing other shows too.
And doing other shows. So you know, there's just there are times when she's you know, just trying to rule the world, and you're like, hey, we get to act together now. But yeah, she's such a giving actor. She's such a professional that it's never awkward. So I still didn't answer your question. I want that pig.
Last question.
First, as a fellow brown skin, it's good to see you doing what you're doing.
Well, hello.
For you, not you can be brown too. Come on. I know you guys had an open casting call a couple of weeks ago. Do you guys do those often for your fans to sort of get involved with the show? If so, do you know when your next one might be?
Probably next season.
Maybe you need a cousin, because I'm brown.
I think you may be too tall. But yeah, the casting calls are great, I think, because there's fans that would love to, you know, want to be part of the show, and I think it's a great opportunity.
It's really a win-win because, man, extras are expensive, and we just don't have that budget. So not only do we get to have the fans come visit the set, and I think that's a real thrill for them. It's also a thrill. It adds to the energy of the show. You know, it's like we're not just working with a bunch of folks who just don't want to be there, and it's just their job, and they're bored. You know, people are just like excited, and you know, after a long 12, 14-hour day of shooting, to see people just still jazzed. You know, it's like it's really cool. It keeps their energy up, and
it makes for some interesting characters on the set.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. Yeah, so it's always fun. I mean, that's again, I think the connection with the audience sort of, you know, it spills all over you.
It is great because it does feel like almost a commune kind of experience because people are coming or fans.
People, the award winner for who came in or who flew in from the furthest place to be an extra on the guild was from the Philippines. So, that, I mean, it's unbelievable. Someone flew in from the Philippines.
All right, well, we're out of time, guys, but thank you so much for being here.